Welcome back to Multifamily Report, market news, industry insights to keep you, the investor, informed about what's going on. I'm your host, Travis Watts, and in today's episode, we're discussing markets. What markets are hot right now, what to look for in a real estate market, and at the end of the day, the market that you choose plays a very critical role in the potential success of your real estate business plan. You want to know where people are moving to. You want to look for where companies and jobs are relocating to. And of course, you're looking for diversification within the market so that the property that you're potentially buying or investing in is not overly saturated on just one sector of the economy or just one local employer. Here at Ashcroft Capital, we conduct our own in-house survey twice per year where we're looking at over 200 major metropolitan markets here in the United States. Things that we look at and evaluate include, but are not limited to, transaction prices, cap rates in the local market, population growth, inventory, unemployment rates, median household income, market rents, vacancy rents, sales volumes, and the list goes on and on. In addition, of course, to what I mentioned earlier, we're always looking for diversification within the market. So we have plenty of sectors within the economy for our renters in case any one sector is to hit a downturn. We can then pivot and market to other industries for potential renters. In these episodes, I like to highlight recent headlines and news articles. There was one recently by globestreet.com where they highlighted several hot markets in the United States, two of which happen to be Orlando, Florida, and Las Vegas, Nevada. This came as a top 10 list on this particular article. By the way, on a side note, you can always look for what markets are hot and where people are moving, where jobs are moving from various sources, including Marcus and Millichap, CBRE, Urban Land Institute, Yardi Matrix, just to name a few. But in this episode, I want to give you guys a few examples of what to look for in various markets. So I want to hone in Orlando, Florida. Reason being, our latest acquisition closed at Ashcroft Capital in Orlando, Florida. Also, I happen to live in Orlando, Florida, so I know quite a bit about this market. So let's pull up some stats and facts on the market here, and I'll share them with you. So starting with 2021 rent growth, since we have the full data from last year, 22.9% rent growth, whereas the U.S. national average was around 11%. The second metric is the 5-year average annual population growth, 2.1%, whereas the national average is 0.56%. The third metric is the 5-year average annual job growth being 2.8%, whereas the national average is 0.02%. The last metric I want to point out is the 5-year average net absorption that we always look at, 3.3% in Orlando compared to 1.9% U.S. national average. What net absorption means is that people are absorbing into these properties. In other words, people are filling up the multifamily properties at a higher rate compared to the national average. Demand drivers include that Orlando's consistently posted some of the strongest population and job growth figures in the nation over the past decade. Average household incomes have increased 8.3% over the last 12 months. We all know about Walt Disney World, Universal Studios, SeaWorld, and all the tourist attractions, but moving outside of just tourism in Orlando, Florida, there's also a lot of healthcare, education, technology industries, and these have been key contributors to the growth and the overall diversification that we look for in a market. There's also a $4 billion expansion of passenger rail services, which will generate approximately 10,000 jobs and provide better service and transportation between Central Florida and South Florida. There's been $2.7 billion in transaction volume happening in Orlando, Florida, which is quite high. So again, this is just an example of one market within the United States. There's plenty of great markets out there. This is just an example of a few metrics that we look at and why we like Orlando, Florida. So please do your own due diligence and homework. But thankfully, there is a lot of free data out there to your disposal that you can use when looking to invest in a real estate project. Remember that real estate markets play a critical role in your potential success of the overall business plan. In addition to doing your own due diligence, if you're going to be partnering on a real estate private placement with a general partner or operator, please make sure as part of your due diligence process that they themselves are well versed in these types of metrics and research and that they know what they're doing. So I want to thank you again for tuning in to today's Multifamily Report. I'm Travis Watts. If you have additional questions, you can always reach me at travis@ashcroftcapital.com. I would be happy to connect with you and help answer those questions. The point of these episodes is to extract industry insights, headlines, break them down, relate them to multifamily real estate to help you, the real estate investor, make better informed decisions. I hope you found some value in discussing markets in today's episode. Stay tuned next week for another episode of Multifamily Report. Take care.